Okay, so just wanted to do a quick demo video for you guys to show you some of the sounds and features of our new South keyboard. Before I get started, a couple things that are different from this and the North keyboard. This is only 61 keys, the North is 88, so you're missing an octave at the top and bottom, but we do have a octave transposing button. So you can go up to 3 octaves up or down from where you're at, so that still gives you the full range of sound. The other difference is that this doesn't have weighted keys like a regular piano would. They're semi-weighted, which is organ style, so it takes a little bit of adjusting to get used to the dynamic, but they do still have some dynamic to them as far as like playing softer, it'll sound softer. Really banging on them will play louder. So that's the main differences between the two. Something else that's a little bit different is this one is very user-friendly. The North keyboard sounds great, but it's tough to get stuff dialed in on the fly. This allows you to do that. We've got your settings for organ, piano, and synth, as well as external effects right here. But to make it even simpler for you guys, I went ahead and created 4 different patches that are just standard sounds that you can dial up on a Sunday morning and be good to go. So I'll walk you through those first. Setting 1 is electric piano with pad. And basically that's an electric piano type sound with a little bit of ambient pad underneath it, and it sounds like this. So that's great for if you're playing something where you want to have the pad to kind of fill in the ambient space, but you still want that note clarity. So it provides both of those. Setting 2 is piano, just a standard grand piano sound. And something that you may have noticed when I switch settings is that this keyboard has what I refer to as sound spillover, where if you're playing setting 1 and you've got that pad kind of filling in the background, if you switch to setting 2, it doesn't cut it off. It just flows out naturally. So that's a great way to be able to change settings mid-song without needing to worry about it just being a hard stop on one sound versus another. There's also no like crazy volume jump or anything like that that affects it when you switch between the two. So that's setting 2, piano. Setting 3 is a pad sound, which is similar to setting 1 minus the note clarity of the keyboard itself. So this is great if you're playing underneath a prayer, or if it's a quieter song where you don't want to do straight piano, but you still want something to kind of help fill the space. And then setting 4 is just a standard organ. So that gives you 4 really basic but really good sounding settings that you can use on a Sunday morning. So I'm going to talk about up here a little bit, just these sections. So if once you've gotten used to it, you kind of feel like you have a good feel for how it works, then you can start tweaking stuff on a Sunday morning. So say you wanted to do a piano sound, you have your mode switches right here, which decides organ, piano, or synth, or you can actually do any combination of the two together. So I'll start with the synth sounds. Typically, we don't do too many of these, like the kind of 80s techno type stuff, but we have the options there. Piano, and each of these are labeled. You can't really make them out clearly in the video, but you have piano, electric piano, clav, and then other, which does like harmonica, accordion, and so on. But say on a Sunday morning, so you wanted a piano with a pad sound, but you wanted something different than what we had over here. You can either select the two there, and then pick them. Or what's easier is you just say, I want the piano and I want the pad, press them together, and they're both activated, and that means that they're layered together. Now say you wanted, like you like that combination, but you want a little less pad. Over here is the level control. That drops it down so you can control the level for the pads and level for the piano. So you can not only layer them together, but you can also adjust how loud each one is. You can also do a split, which basically takes from here up on the keyboard is one setting, from here down is the second one. So you have your piano down here. Oh, sorry, that is the pad. And then up here is the piano. So if you wanted the two separate, you could use the split feature. With the organ, you'll notice that this layout is a little bit different, and basically this is modeled after the older style organs that have drawbars on them, which basically allow you to change the frequencies that you're playing. So you can hear as I adjust that, it kind of changes the overall sound a little bit. Now, with that, this setting, it sounds kind of like your standard church organ, but if you turn on what's over here, you can kind of see it in the screen. It's the rotary sound option. So the classic organs, when you think of like classic rock type sounds, they're hooked up to what's called a rotary speaker. And that speaker basically just spins and the sound is kind of thrown around a little bit. It helps to create some texture underneath what you're playing. And then there's two settings, fast and slow. So here's slow and then fast. You can hear how it kind of starts to speed up and slow down. So if you're ever playing a song where, like, let's say you have an E chord that's just goes on for several measures, but you don't want it to just be sitting there like a standard organ, you can turn on the rotary and switch back and forth between the fast and slow, and it helps to create some movement underneath. So that's a fun option. Lastly, I'll talk about the external effects over here. So you have overdrive, tone, compressor, MFX or multi-effects, delay, and reverb. Depending on what setting you have or what sound you have, this knob, the MFX, is going to do different things. If I do the synth lead sound, it's a slicer effect. Different pianos will have different sounds. So this piano has a pitch shifter. Let's see what other options we have. One of the electric pianos. So depending on what setting you have, this knob will do something different. The rest of these, the top three we don't really, probably won't be using that much, but down here, delay and reverb are great options to have. Say if you're playing just, you've got your, I'll say you've got your grand piano setting, just setting 2, and you want to add a little bit to it, you can adjust the reverb level. Or say if you wanted some delay on there, just as something fun to play with. Let's see. So that's another option. Overdrive, tone, and compression really apply more to the organ sounds, where sometimes with that classic organ sound, they'd overdrive it a little bit so it has more of that rock sound to it. but we really won't use that too much. But that's just a basic overview. I mean, like I said, these 4 settings, if you never did anything other than these 4, you'd be set with what we do. I wanted to just create some basic sounds that would work well for kind of the songs that we're doing, that were easy to play with, easy to recall, but still you do have all the options to be able to play around with things if you wanted to learn more about it and create and tweak and do some things on your own. But that's a general overview. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys, so you're not going to be kind of coming in on a Sunday morning just learning on the fly, getting used to it. But like I said, it is a very, very user-friendly setup. I'm really excited to get this integrated. I'm also really excited to get our piano retuned, and hopefully that will stay in tune so we can utilize the 2 instruments together. I think that will really add a new dimension to our team and the ministry and serving the church. So hopefully that was helpful. Thanks for your time.